So you wake up one morning, and something's weird. You don't feel tired, not even a little, and you think, cool, free time, right? Let's say this isn't just one rough night. Let's say you literally never sleep again, not a wink, not for the rest of your life. What actually happens to you? Because trust me, it's way stranger and way darker than just feeling groggy the next day. We're gonna walk through this hour by hour, day by day, because your body doesn't just get tired and pass out eventually. No, it breaks down in this slow, brutal, very specific sequence. And honestly, by the end of this, you're gonna look at your pillow with a whole new level of appreciation. Let's start the clock. Hour 0. This is the moment you stop sleeping, and everything still feels normal. Right now, your brain is still sharp. Your body's running on the sleep you already banked. You feel fine, maybe even a little proud of yourself, like you're pulling off some kind of superhuman stunt. But here's the thing, your brain already knows something's off. Deep inside your skull, there's a tiny structure called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, basically your internal clock, and it just noticed you didn't do the thing you're supposed to do. It's not panicking yet, but it's watching. Now let's jump forward. Hour 12. Half a day without sleep. This is normal territory for most people, honestly. You've probably pulled a 12-hour stretch before without even meaning to. Maybe a busy day, a long trip, whatever. You might feel a tiny dip in energy, especially if it's late at night, but your body's not alarmed. Your brain is still doing its job just fine. Reaction time, mood, focus, all pretty much normal. This is the calm before the storm, basically. Now, hour 24, a full day awake. This is where it gets interesting. Because at this point, scientifically speaking, your brain is already starting to act like you're a little drunk. Seriously. Studies show that being awake for 24 hours straight messes with your coordination and decision-making about as much as having a decent amount of alcohol in your system. You might not notice it in the moment, but your reflexes are slower. Your judgment is a bit fuzzy. If you tried to drive right now, you'd basically be driving impaired, even though you haven't had a drop to drink. Emotionally, you're also more sensitive. Little annoyances feel bigger. Your patience is shorter. And weirdly, you might still feel a burst of energy around this point, like a second wind. That's your body pumping out stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, trying to keep you upright and alert. It's basically an emergency system kicking in, saying, hey, we need to function, so let's fake some energy real quick. Now let's push into hour 36. Day 1.5 without sleep. This is where your body starts sending out actual distress signals. Your immune system takes a hit here. It's not making enough of the proteins it needs to fight off infections properly. So if you catch a cold right now, it might hit you harder than usual. Your hormones are also getting thrown off, especially the ones that regulate hunger. This is why sleep-deprived people often crave sugar and junk food like crazy. Your body's hormone signals for hunger and fullness get all scrambled. Mentally, things are getting foggier too. Concentration is harder. You might start losing track of conversations, forgetting what you were doing mid-task. Some people start to feel a weird disconnect from reality, like everything's slightly delayed or dreamlike. That's your brain's way of protesting. Honestly, it's screaming for the sleep cycle it's supposed to be going through right now. Let's keep going. Hour 48. 2 full days awake. Okay, now we're deep into it. At this point, something called microsleeps start happening. These are terrifying if you think about them too much. Basically, your brain, without asking your permission, just shuts off for a few seconds. You might be sitting there, eyes open, and suddenly, poof, a few seconds just vanish. You don't even realize it happened until after the fact. It's your brain forcing a tiny nap because it desperately needs one, whether you agree or not. Your perception of time gets weird too. Things might feel like they're moving in slow motion, or maybe time feels like it's skipping. Some people start having minor hallucinations around this point. Nothing crazy yet, but maybe seeing shadows move at the edge of your vision, or hearing faint sounds that aren't really there. Your brain is basically starting to blend dream states into your waking life because it's not getting the dream time it needs. Now, hour 60. 2.5 days in. This is where your emotional control basically goes out the window. Small stuff can set off big reactions. You might cry over something tiny, or snap at someone for no real reason. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking and impulse control, is struggling to function properly without rest. It's like your emotional brakes are getting worn down. Physically, your coordination is getting worse too. Simple tasks like walking in a straight line or catching something thrown at you become noticeably harder. Your body is desperately trying to compensate, but it's running out of tricks. Now let's hit hour 72. 3 full days without sleep. This is a really important marker because this is where most people start experiencing full-blown hallucinations, not just little flickers but actual vivid, disturbing hallucinations. Your brain starts to blur the line between what's real and what's not, big time. Some people report seeing people who aren't there, hearing full conversations that never happened, or feeling like bugs are crawling on their skin. Your body at this point is under massive stress. Blood pressure changes. Your immune system is seriously weakened, and your ability to think logically is almost completely shot. This is around the point where historically sleep deprivation experiments in humans have been stopped for safety reasons, because things start getting genuinely dangerous for your mental and physical health. Let's go further. Hour 96. 4 days awake. At this stage, we're talking about a state that closely resembles psychosis. Paranoia can set in hard. You might start believing people are plotting against you or that something is deeply wrong with the world around you, even though nothing actually changed except you not sleeping. Your grip on reality is seriously slipping. Your body is also showing signs of serious wear. Your immune system is basically compromised at this point, leaving you way more vulnerable to illness. Your body temperature regulation gets weird too. You might feel unusually cold or overheated without a clear reason. Basic bodily functions that you don't even think about normally are starting to misfire. Now here's where things get really extreme, because we're moving into territory that's mostly documented through animal studies and some very rare, very risky human cases. Let's talk about what would happen if this continued for a week, then 2 weeks, then beyond, because your body doesn't just stay in this broken state forever, it keeps declining. At around 1 week without sleep, cognitive function is severely impaired. We're talking about someone who can barely hold a coherent conversation. Memory is deeply affected too. You might not remember things that happened just minutes ago. Can become slurred or disorganized, similar to being extremely intoxicated, except there's no alcohol involved at all, just pure exhaustion breaking down your brain's ability to function. Your body's stress hormones are chronically elevated at this point, which starts to seriously damage your cardiovascular system. Your heart is working overtime, your blood pressure is unstable, and your risk of serious health events like heart problems goes way up. Now this is where we bring in one of the most famous pieces of evidence we have on this topic: animal studies from decades ago, specifically research done on rats. In these studies, rats that were completely deprived of sleep for extended periods, roughly 2 to 3 weeks, ended up dying. Not from any single obvious cause, but from total systemic collapse. Their bodies basically fell apart from every angle at once: immune failure, metabolic breakdown, body temperature regulation completely failing, and their organs essentially gave up trying to keep everything running. It's honestly one of the clearest signs we have that sleep isn't just some nice-to-have thing your body enjoys. It's an absolute requirement for staying alive, as basic as food or water. Now humans obviously haven't been tested this way for ethical reasons. But we do have some very rare cases and disorders that give us a terrifying glimpse into what extreme, prolonged sleep deprivation looks like in real people. There's a rare genetic condition called fatal familial insomnia. It's incredibly rare, but it's basically the real-world version of what we're talking about here. People with this condition gradually lose the ability to sleep at all, and it happens over months, not just days. In the early stages, they experience symptoms similar to what we described: panic attacks, paranoia,